You said you finally watched the show to completion,
Oh,
man.
right.
So
Fallout.
what you talking about?
Fallout, man, you were right. You said it wasn't so much good, not that it was bad. It wasn't so much good as it was compelling. And I watched it and I really got into it. I started it up, made like to the middle of the second episode and was like, hold up, this is compelling. And started it back over. It's got this vibe. And I don't think I've been entertained by a premise of a world like
Mm-mm.
this in this
Mhm.
long, in a very long time. There are very few shows that where I just want to see more of the world. And the characters were interesting. The storyline, storyline was good. It's fine. You've got these characters that need to do what they got to do. They each have their own wants, needs, desires, and obstacles that you have to go through, and etc. And they all come together, and everything comes to a head. Fine, but it's nothing in terms of story that's really groundbreaking. But as I watched it, I'm sitting here just wondering about this world and saying, "Hey, we need to go track this down." And you're like, "I wonder what they're gonna see. I wonder what they're gonna run into. Oh wait, how did they even? What about?" And you're just wondering what's around every corner of this world, and I love that. I really do, and yeah, totally compelling. But I didn't understand it till I was deeper into it. I was like, all I want to do is see more of this world. I want to see more vaults, more cities, more companies. Like we know about Volte. What about Nuka Cola? What about all these other companies that basically took over the world? And yeah, totally fascinated by it.
Oh yeah, man. And you hit the nail on the head. The reason why it's compelling was look, the characters are great. With Lucy, I thought that was a good juxtaposition, the naivete with some dawning of awareness and growing up. And then the I forgot the character's name, the warmonger who was going to the guy who wore the suit. I'm sorry, I'm
Maximus.
drawing the blank right. Maximus, thank you. And how he was a weakling, but really had some courage and kind of knew about the world. And then obviously Walter Goggins as the ghoul, just
Yeah.
having that humanity and why it was stripped away from him. Even spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the finale, he probably became a ghoul when he found out his wife was basically ready to kill the world. So yeah, a lot of I think the characters too. Let's be honest. I think they each had aspects of that building in
Yeah.
them, within them,
Yeah.
from the
Yeah.
beginning of the story to the end, to what it's like to be of that world, and it was like to be apart from that world. And so they gave you a good perspective. But you're right, it really was in service of his world building, so much so that I never played the games, but I went down the YouTube rabbit hole and wondered, oh, what happened in Vault 27? Or what happened in Vault 82? They had
You
all
went
these.
down the rabbit hole. Yes.
Yeah, I did, man. All these YouTube shorts. You just see them. There's so many YouTube shows of like all these different vaults and experiments they did in them. And so you just go, oh wow, that's crazy. Oh, they did that. And then to your point, there's like the world building around, what happened overseas. We're talking about America, but what happened overseas? And there's
Yeah.
world building around the companies and who survived, who didn't. And so you're right. It's just amazing. But let's be honest, Mr. Benji, you were in games. That's what video games do, right? They do
It's
world
very
building.
it's very gamey, and usually I say that's a bad thing, but this time I was like, "No, I wanna go on this quest with all these characters." And instead of having the characters die, which is what I thought was interesting, like in the game, you're always worried about, are they gonna die? Every one of the characters, at least the main characters, felt like they could snap at any moment. Like,
Mm.
they just could say, "F it all." They could go off the deep end or give up, or I wasn't so much worried about them dying. I was worried about if they were gonna snap, which is really
Mm.
interesting because this whole world is just tense because if something goes wrong, kaboom. That's the it's just this intensity of the bomb. It's like everybody was tense in the beginning where, "Hey, is bomb gonna go off? I don't know. Something's
And
about
just
to
got stuck
blow up."
that way. Good point. And it got
Yeah.
stuck that way, and so they never got out of it. But just the whole concept of envisioning America where it got stuck in the '50s because we discovered fusion way earlier, and so all things went toward energy. So anything that dealt with cellular technology and stuff, they said the microchip wasn't created. It just we just didn't discover that. It's internet, all that stuff, whatever, right? Everything's just stuck in a '50s aesthetic, even though it's the future because we have super powered robots and things like that. But I thought that was it's a weird mix of nostalgia with futuristic and apocalypse doom and gloom with chipper Americana. We can do anything. So it's a weird kind of mix. And I guess that's why I guess Fallout fans loved it, the whole premise. And they got the great mascot, man. We talk about Mario or Sonic. What's the Pip Boy or whatever the guy's name
Yeah.
with the thumbs up? Perfect brand, man. Just you're like, oh, what's this? I remember seeing that for years, didn't know anything about it. And then all of a sudden it's oh, part of that game. So there you go.
Did you watch the little shorts on Amazon? They have like commercials and
Oh yeah,
public
hilarious.
service announcements. I love those. Yeah.
Hilarious. I love those. How they sell about tech. It's just very just macabre, if you will, or very
Yeah.
dark. But yeah, man, kudos to them. Look, man, video games are having a moment, man. They're killing it. Video game IP right now is the thing to have. And we're gonna have Legend of Zelda. We're gonna have what else? Some big ones coming out in the next few years. Mr. Benja, did they call you on the bat line, man? When we gonna get Red Dead Redemption? Oh, shut it down, shut it down. He can't talk about that.
Well, you got so hype, you blurred out, man.
I know.
The
It's
camera was like, I
classified.
can't contain it. Nah, the way Rockstar Games works, and this isn't a secret or anything, but every studio, when you talk about focus in terms of like how you focus your products, and we talk about the 80/20, we've discussed that before. They've got Grand Theft Auto out there, and damn near everything else they do is in service to making Grand Theft Auto, the next version, better. And it just feels that way. Like when we worked on table tennis, they're like, "Why are you making a table tennis game?" And as I said, this all the stuff is out there. They developed the Rockstar Advanced Game Engine, Rage, the Rockstar Advanced Game Engine with that game in mind, so they could work out all the kinks and details on a very small scale. You got the physics, the characters, and a bunch of other things that are at such a high fidelity. Okay, we can do it on this very small scale. Let's start working towards doing this on the GTA scale. And that's just how it's a great example of how you could really focus all your efforts towards that one great goal and have this that big megaton bomb of a force out there. Why am I thinking megaton bombs? I guess because we're talking about Fallout. You have this big, huge force out there that's, how did they put that? Dan Sullivan said, you make something that's so great that it offends other people's sensibilities for them to even try it.
Wow. Yeah. Powerful.
I'm going to do that. You're going to do that? That's too much work. That needs this and that and that. I ain't going to do it. That offends me.
No, man. While you were talking, I was looking at Fallout, man. It's killing in ratings. Amazon Prime, man, does it again. Mr. Benja, real quick before I talk about the numbers, did you opt out of ads to watch Fallout, or did you sit through ads while you watch Fallout for Amazon Prime?
Oh, man. I told Amazon, take my money.
No, man. I hate them for it. I hate them for it too, man. This is wrong, man. This is America. So basically, we got it free as part of our Amazon. We pay it. Let's be honest. We already paid for Amazon Prime TV because we all get Amazon Prime to get our 2-day shipping. So we like, okay, cool. We get videos for free. But what they did was like, yeah, you still get video for free, but we're just gonna throw ads on. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. But if you ever try to watch an Amazon Prime show with videos, it's the most frustrating crap ever. And so you have to pay that $3 so you can stop it. So they just made probably another $1 billion in revenue just to at that ad tier.
Yeah.
Versus Netflix, which is trying to, and I'll talk about this. This is something that we put on the show notes, but there were the TV upfronts this week, and we'll talk about that in a second. But Netflix is trying to do the same thing, get more ad people who join Netflix and just watch the ads because they want to get more advertisers to the platform. Netflix chose the opposite, right? They just still have us paying a monthly fee, and they're just trying to eke out lower price points so they can get more people to come in and do the ad tier. The rumor is that probably Netflix is going to raise that no ad tier up even higher so they can push more people down to the ad tier. But they could have, let's be honest, they got what, 250 million people, I think, subscribed, 250 million subscribers. They could have just been like, guess what? All ad tier now. So if you don't want ads, pay us. So luckily they didn't do that. And I think because they probably didn't have nothing else. Amazon has a whole store behind it, so that's probably why they felt they could do something like that. People are gonna get Prime regardless, Amazon Prime for 2 day shipping, but Netflix, if they did that, you thought Mr. Benja churned so fast. I think everybody I would have churned, everybody in mine would have churned Netflix,
Yeah.
turned it off. But I digress and just say that that $3 sucks, man. And so anyway, I that it's business 101. I don't hate them, but I do.
You know what? It's funny. I nowadays, I I think we talked about Amazon before because every year that bill comes up and it's like, all right, here we go. You've raised the
Mhm,
price, Amazon, and now ads. And part of me was like, is this year I cut Amazon Prime? I'm not going to cut Amazon Prime or Amazon at all. Not yet. But I found a new hack since they've been updating their algorithm, their search
mhm,
algorithm. I go find I go to Walmart, I go to Target, I go to what's that other site? Not Temu, the eBay, Google Shopping. I go to a couple of these places really quickly, then I find that product, and then I go search for that on Amazon, and I find the best deal. They Amazon will bury these products that are actually good deals because they've been pushing up the sponsored ones, they've been pushing up the ones with high ratings and all this other stuff. So,
and don't get into their own private label too that they can push.
yeah,
So,
basics.
yeah. So, yeah, oh, that's a good hack.